Evening, it's V again, and I've just run through A Tale of Beauty and Beast by Melanie Cellier. This is the sequel and companion book to A Dance of Silver and Shadow. I guess I made a bit of a mistake when I was recording the review for the previous one, like the current set of kingdoms that these stories involve is not the one that they refer to as the Four Kingdoms. It sounds like that's where the main characters are from, but I was counting, I guess, the princes in my head after I did the previous recording. I discovered there's more than 4 in the previous set. But anyways, that's not terribly important. Anyway, so the main character of this book is Sophie, who is now betrothed to a prince that most people refer to as the Beast, because he has kind of a terrible reputation, largely due to the curse that fell upon his kingdom. Like, she is bound to this betrothal, partly like she wanted to do it because she wanted to prevent anyone else, primarily her sister, from having to marry this man that they have heard such terrible things about. But she's kind of determined to find a way out of this engagement herself as well, although for the time being she has to go along with it since the magic that chose her as his bride comes with certain rules. Like, they have ancient traditions in these lands where certain types of magic have to be obeyed for fear of terrible consequences. So she's also really determined to figure out exactly what the curse actually is on this kingdom and to break it if she can. It's kind of an adventure. So when she arrives in Palinar, this new kingdom, she finds a really, really peculiar place with a lot of odd magic going on, and there doesn't seem to be any people, and she meets the Beast, who kind of scares her, but it's also I think, there isn't really a lot for me to say about the plot because it draws very, very heavily off the story of Beauty and the Beast. You can see a lot of parallels between what the book does and the events that were in the Disney movie version of Beauty and the Beast. So as far as plot goes, there isn't much more I can say. It does add the fact that the main character is a princess instead of someone who isn't, and she's here partly to help her sister as opposed to, her father from the movie. But there are a lot of other things that are similar, like her hobbies and the library, and a lot of the events that occur have their own versions in this book. So there isn't really much for me to say about it, I think. So let's see. I'm gonna start with what I did not like. I didn't like the fact that since Sophie went into her engagement and her mission with the general belief that the person she's going to meet is somehow evil and responsible for all the bad things that have happened in his kingdom, it's like she judges everything she encounters from that perspective. It's like I often don't actually agree with the way she interprets the prince's actions, and it causes, I think, her to make a lot of negative assumptions because she goes into everything with the presumption that he is bad, and so all motivations and stuff must somehow also be bad. But it creates a lot of misunderstandings and just a general unpleasantness, I guess, in the way she thinks. But something that I appreciate, I do like that the story acknowledges this fact, it doesn't overlook it, it does point out, she comes to the realization that she made a mistake, and that, a lot of the problems that happened are because she came into this situation with assumptions that turned out to be false. So I guess I'll also give it credit for the fact that the backstory of the curse is not the same as the Disney Beauty and the Beast version. There's some variation in that, and then also it does still tie in with a larger background plot involving the absence of godmothers from this region and the darkness that it mentioned in the previous book. Even though it centers a lot more on this one fairy tale as opposed to referencing a lot of other ones like it did in the previous book.